Hey,
Hi there. How are you?
good and you?
Doing good. Doing good.
So,
Already.
yeah, I see a couple of people logging in.
Okay.
And basically, the idea of this session is to start a series of live events. There's going to be chats between us. We're going to be talking about the latest trends in the industry. The idea is to talk about our experience, what we have learned so far, and how you can take advantage of it. Our experience so far in the scalability journey, which is what we have started a while ago. And most importantly, we want to talk about some scalability levers and sources of growth that a lot of organizations are missing and that you can take advantage of right now. Um, Gabi,
Yeah.
well, I'm Alejandra Slatapolsky. I'm the co founder of Scalto, and this is Gabriela, my partner.
Hi, Ale. No, it's great. I'm super excited about today. We've been working in Scalto, trying to scale Scalto too. So there are many lessons, many things that we've experienced that we wanted to share. And with this conversation, we wanted to put it forward. Just mind that in Scalto, as a creative consultancy, we look forward that what are the levers what in terms of branding and communications that we found that we can help scale companies in. So that's the background. Super excited and looking forward to our conversation today. It's about half an hour, right?
Yeah, so we have half an hour. If anybody wants to put some questions on the chat, we'll be able to answer them. And um, the way we said we are going to start is first, let's talk about our experience, right? We started this organization setting out to do a scalable organization, but also to help others scale. And we made some mistakes along the way, as everybody. And now we know some things we should have done differently. In my case, for example, I want to start with one that is very typical when you start in a service-based industry. In a service-based industry, you start trying to be everything for everybody or to be one for everybody. So what do I mean? For example, I remember in my early consulting days, I've always had I, I I come from the financial services industry, and I've always focused on financial services or tech or now fintech. However, I remember when I first launched the company, I said, okay, let me help anybody with marketing, and I started working with a furniture store, and my learning curve was so long, and my efforts to try to promote that furniture store were taking so long because of my learning curve that I lost the client. So I think that the fit with your client is key.
That's right. And not only the fit is losing having the right direction. So when we set off with Scalto, we decided, okay, we need to narrow down. We need to figure out what was going on. But then we started, okay, why not? Why don't we do this? We started crypto. We started NFTs and on that world within the fintechs, and it's a completely different realm. So we understood that we had to focus at that point, and we had to say, okay, what is it that we can do? What is it that we can't do? So that, in essence, not only the furniture, but we've gone around and trying to figure out that the right direction, and having that right direction, we had to go back. Even in our case, we went and decided that we wanted to build an enterprise operating system and built it into the system so that we had the absolutely right direction so that we can scale Scalto.
Exactly. Another problem that we faced also is not hiring early enough. So in service based, scaling and growing um, requires um, a fast uh, onboarding of clients and a team ready to be activated. And sometimes you just have that lag, and So being ready to hire, having a team ready to work for you was a tough lesson to learn, right?
Absolutely, and having the right, we had to invest in the right talent, the right people in the right seats, or aces in their places, and we learned that the hard way. We once you want to scale, we know you where you're going. You need to have the right team and the right structure. Despite the fact that COVID and everything that happened, as it was getting everybody distributed, yet everything that we experienced in these 2 years. But having the right talent, hiring fast enough was a lesson that we learned early in the process, right?
Exactly. And this one was my favorite, that the issue with managing time. So you want to develop, you're a service-based company. You want to develop your uh, your process, you want to develop your product, but at the same time you're working on your client deliverables, and then you're working on sales, and then you're working on operations, and you're working on everything. So learning time management and role assignment for me was key, like actually identifying where my week was going without losing track of it was key. In my career, actually, my all my years working as a consultant, one of the greatest lessons I had was, yeah, you need to actually slot every single one of your roles into time in your calendar and do it intentionally, right?
And says somebody talking to somebody that is a freak of Asana freak, and she loves loves Asana, but in a way, we were set off to challenge what the status quo of agency consulting firm is in terms of booking times and doing with time management. It's not that we were logging in time or time tracking. It's just that we need to make sure, since we produce ideas and we produce solutions, we need to figure out the best way to use the resources, and that was early on that we had to structure, and we have to say, okay, well, this is the way we need to, everybody need to talk the same language as opposed to everybody booking in time. So I think it was a great, you put it as fail, I see as a growing opportunities, but now I want to head into what are our wins, what we did great, or what we have done and we want to reproduce. And one of the things was we set up to discuss and say, okay, in order to become scalable, we need to have an IP or a process or service process that we can reproduce easily. So from the onset, we decided, okay, what is our process? What is a blueprint? Where are we taking from the client to where we're heading? And that we started sifting through what was important for us, what was important, what got excited. We love to solve problems, right? So any problem and anything could really sound like a problem, but what is it that scaling problem in terms of branding we wanted to solve for? And that IP generation for us was one of the cornerstones of our scaling of Scalto, right, Ali?
Yeah, we've been going over it also with some of our clients, and for us, the actually sitting down and saying, well, this is the process that we follow. We used to, like, I personally, many years ago, I used to just sit down for each client and develop a plan, right? And you say, oh, okay, this client needs this plan, and then this other client needs this other plan. Uh, but once you have the experience, you have the knowledge, why not drive that relationship? Drive the service process in a way that gives both your team and the client a better sense of what's going on and a better sense of um, where they are going, what should be happening in each phase. And for us, I think, yeah, the moment that we sat down in that office and actually outlined that blueprint, and we said, okay, no, this is the way to that from our point of view to scale companies, and these are the key components of scaling companies from a branding and communications perspective. That was an aha moment for me. Like, it was so satisfying to finally, like, create an intellectual property beyond myself and create something that is going to impact others and is going to teach them how to do it. any company can do that, and all companies should be doing that, packaging their knowledge and making it clear for everybody to learn. um, and
Yeah, and
that
what
actually, sorry, that actually, you going into the next point that we have is that actually drove our sales process and made it that much simpler and that much more successful, right?
right, it's clear statement is clear clarity as to what are we solving for, clarity as to how the process would looks like and how we wanted to change the game, right? So we had so many years in consulting and brand consulting and communications and marketing, and we wanted to change what excites us at this stage is just what can we change, what can we do differently so we thrive. And we thought, why don't we go to a model where we work with the client as opposed to working for the client? And working with the client entails that it's a different relationship. And we're changing paradigms from both of us, right? We struggled in the beginning. We always try to, okay, well, let's not sidetrack. Let's not go revert to our old ways. Try to figure out, come back. But the idea of putting a new way of doing consulting or new ways of creating this. And one of my mentors says like, oh, this is not scalable, your model in terms of because we also have mentors, right? So it's not scalable. It's like, yeah, it is scalable when you have the right process and you have products that you can reproduce. It's not that you're generating cookies, because all of a sudden the curating side of it, or the human side of it, and our knowledge coming in from 30 plus years of experience brings into understanding what points do we connect, what levers shall we pull. And that idea was great. Like you, I saw it as an aha moment, not only in terms of presenting the deliverables for the client, presenting what it is. It's not that we're generating decks or generating brand manuals or whatever it is, or ideas to reproduce in social. It's just like we're turning the company more scalable, and that's what we sought out to be in terms of helping companies grow in that sense beyond the costs.
Yeah, and when I have those conversations with clients, also, I've seen it work with other clients. Whenever you switch your mind from a service oriented to a solutions oriented path, is when that conversation with clients is that much easier. And actually, your conversion process is that much easier. And that's what we saw in our growth, that the understanding of what you're doing for clients, once you're really clarifying it and focusing on the solution side of things and focusing on the process that you already have the knowledge of, and you driving the relationship, you driving the process, that really really helps in all of it, in both in the sales process, in the top of the funnel, but also in the whole customer journey, I think.
Absolutely. Even at the very end, on the loyalty side, we have clients recommended us in terms of they think clients coming in from South America, coming into the US, trying to scale or trying to bring their products in. And they're referring to other projects that once we get where they're heading, what's their narrative, and then what's the experience as part of the highlight, and we can talk another time for where blueprint is, they understand clearly what the path is and what the process is. And in terms of the customer journey on our side, it becomes an excellent source of leads, because it's referral. It's the best recommendation that we have. We get excited when a client is actually the one that we're doing in terms of real estate and prop and tech that is actually growing at a faster pace and imaginable. It's growing forward, and for us, it's really. We take pride in what the success of a company is, and they refer to us also. So that's a double positive there.
Okay. And okay, so in terms of what we've seen so far, that companies are sort of missing, or they don't see as a scaling problem, if they don't see as a scalability lever, which is what we are set out to discuss today. Um,
Right.
There are a lot of those.
Yeah,
We
we can go to a long extended list, but I think we have like around like 5 or 6 that are core. And the thing is like don't you get it out of that when they talk about scaling, they see financials, they see
yeah.
um, average growth rate, what we're doing, the evaluations, and they're doing all these scaling things in terms of sales. But then when you dig deeper, it's like, okay, what is it that you can move in order to, what is it that you can action and make it happen so that that lever moves? For us, the first thing is that when we get clients like anywhere, I want to head to the US. It's like, okay, you want to come to the US? What's your target? I mean, destination anywhere. I want to do anything. I have this product that works in, I don't know, say Argentina, and I want to bring it here. Or I have this product that, it's like, okay, what is your strategy? What is your ambition? What is your why? And the biggest, we get unstuck a lot of clients in saying, okay, wow, that's really what we need, what we're set out to do. It makes so much sense. If we want to decarb the planet, or we gonna I don't know, lever on the school system, whatever it is that we figure, it's something that at the very beginning, we have to go back to what is your mindset, where are you heading, how do you magnify your vision, how do you say, okay, this is what I'm set to do.
Yeah, I know it's a cliche, but it's like, what is your north? Why did you start, and where are you? And go back to your original motivation to provide your product in this world, right? And once you do that, it's really like it provides a clear road, a much clearer road to like what you should be doing and where you should be, not wasting your time. My favorite is that everybody thinks that scalability is about generating leads, and that's another one, that it's not just about generating leads. You can have 100 million leads, but if you're not really engaging them with your core value proposition, with the core why that you have clear, and you're like onboarding them into your passion, uh, there isn't much you'll be able to do with those leads, right? uh,
Yeah.
so there is another view that is, finding that people, when you talk about that passion, is finding the right people that align with you. We say it's a right speech, wrong crowd, right? That's another point that we always make. Who are you talking to? Who are you going after? Really, what's your niche? And that niche is key, because that niche has to commit to your passion, and they have to buy why you're doing things. That's the famous the famous line that everybody uses, is that people don't buy what you do or what you sell. They buy why you do it, right?
And what do you do for them? And the idea, and having said that, they have come to us in examples like, we want to head to the Hispanic market. It's like, okay, Hispanic market can be like so huge. It's the biggest minority in the US, or it's no longer a minority, I don't know. But the idea behind it is like, who you need to, people or clients have come up to us and it's like, okay, we have to sift through and understand who are they talking to, what are the problems they're solving, what's the job to be done, how you make them feel is part of the aspects that you're saying. So that concept is maybe cliche, but we've seen a broader sense of issues coming in that way in that north.
And
And
that scalability lever is actually hyper segmentation. That's
absolutely.
something that I always talk about with my clients. What can you do to scale? Well, find a niche, make it smaller, then make it smaller again. And I know it sounds counterproductive, but
Mhm.
that's exactly what's going to drive your growth.
Right. And the other thing is like, another thing that we figured is trying to set the status quo drive. I mean, the myopic view of what are your growth options, where are you heading, what can you do, and most of the times like do the same as before. And let's do things because it has worked in Brazil, say it has to work here. It's like, no, 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 we have to open up and some more, go 3 steps ahead, lateral thinking, all these strategies that you need to try to figure out a way to open up. So that myopic view no longer helps, and you need to figure out a way to open it up. Maybe creative sessions, or maybe having the right partner or the right provoker, if you will. That's the way we work a lot of times.
Yeah. That's a clear, like, also scalability lever that we use. We say, don't, like, scaling is not only about following what your competition is doing. It's not about doing what you've been doing for the sake of it, or because it has worked somewhere else or with another target. Exactly. Then another one is, well, you have many years of experience in branding, and
Yeah.
um, it's, I view it as, when you see somebody that is, maybe the Harley Davidson driver, right? And it's this huge guy that gets out of the
Mm.
bike, and it's all tattooed, and it's like very strong, and suddenly he starts speaking, and he has this little voice, and it's very sweet, and you're like, wait, what happened there? That's what when we talk about brand misalignment, that's exactly what I envision.
Yeah, well, you're going to a delicate route, but yeah, what you want is that your brand represents and actually is able to drive your growth and drive your scalability. So, say when you're going in and your brand is a bit outdated or does not reflect your positioning or your attributes, or you're adding a different um, aspect of within it, and there's a huge disconnect. And those are where the clients are like, it's not we're doing rebranding. So for us, it's not changing a logo. For us, it's changing a sign of change, and actually saying, okay, we're doing things differently, and this is how we're going to portray it. Not only the brand, it's your website, it's your materials, it's your messaging, it's your everything that encompasses your communications and your the way of putting yourself out there. So we've seen major disconnects, and we say, no, 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 your problem is not here. If you want to go to such and such market and you want to do this, we have to talk that language. And if it's fintech has specifics, or if it's, I don't know, say fast moving consumer goods, or CPGs has a different concept. Even today, you've seen things changing from high fintechy, super sleek. So now they're coming more at a retro look. You see back the 80s coming back to some communications. We need to figure out the way that our company matches, our brand matches the destination or the ambition of our company. And
Yeah.
that's on your end side of it, is that what we say, what you don't communicate, nobody knows.
Yeah.
So that we've seen clients in your realm also, a major strength of Ale is that if you don't communicate it, it's not going to be known. But if you communicate the right message, it's also not going to be known. So, or it's going to be misunderstood. So your words on it.
Yeah. Well, actually, there are so many organizations that are honestly sometimes very successful without communicating. However, they think that not communicating, is just maybe not doing marketing or not doing promotion. And that's not the case. You can sell, and yeah, in high finance, in asset management, what has always happened. Yeah, the people have been doing the one-on-ones, which is a very expensive way of business growth, but still it's a lead generation source. And that's the way the business has grown, right? However, um, they miss the point in terms of all of the other communication activities. They're not just traditional marketing that can help get your point across, that can help get your message to the world. And even if it's a small word, because I'm still saying it should be a small niche, but if you don't say what you stand for, if you don't go out and explain what you stand for, then there isn't much that people are gonna be able to get on board with, right? So you want to be able, you want to always tell your story so that people can get on board with your story, no matter how many they are.
That's right. And the other thing that we figured in terms of what we've encountered is more the broken links in that experience. So having a sketchy customer journey, everybody's talking about customer journey, customer journey. So no, the idea is like, what is your client going through when it's dealing with you? So let's say they don't understand what you produce or what you create or what you solve for, or they don't understand how to engage with you, or they don't, those type of things. It needs to be clear cut, understand where are they priorities, because you can't address them all at the same time. So for my end is more what it is that say if you're going to solve for the delivery process, they understand what they're willing be engaging in. And for us, having clients say, okay, one person deals with this and it has solved for a lot of issues for a particular client. I don't know if your experience.
In customer journey, I feel like the most successful companies are those that have a customer journey culture, actually. That everybody in the organization is conscious about what the client is experiencing. Everybody in the organization is able to, put themselves in the position of the client, wherever they are in their job, in the customer journey, whatever their place, their position. The important thing is, do you have a culture that keeps improving on the experience that your client is going through? It doesn't matter what phase of the customer journey is. So for us, um, it's a constant improvement process. It's not a one-time thing. It's not something that you do and set and let it, just stay. It has to be a culture of customer journey excellence, basically, and that it's my biggest tip for scalability, because when you have a customer journey culture, when you have everybody working on improving that customer journey, all of the phases of your funnel are improved, and all of the phases of your funnel serve as growth sources for you. Every single phase, from lead generation to onboarding to servicing to loyalty, they all serve as a growth source for your organization when it's rightly set up.
That's absolutely. I think we're coming to an end but I hope we have some minutes for questions. I don't know, Vale, if we have some, but the idea is that we want you to get a glimpse of the way we approach problems in terms of branding and communications to scale. What we look for into, we have our scalability index, and we do a first assessment at the very beginning. If you want to see that, we can also share and have that generate that scalability assessment for you. But this is what we look for when we go into a project or into a client with a problem and that we want to solve for. This is how we overview. One of the things we didn't tell you is that we have fun. We really have fun in going into what the problems are and say, well, how might you address this within our blueprint, which we structured, and we wanted to make it happen in terms of scaling. So from our end, this is how we connect the dots. I don't know, Ali, how about you?
Yeah, I think that we do have our scalability assessment that gives a scalability ranking that really helps organizations find the opportunities for scaling, and that we're very proud of. That's part of what we started talking about, right? The IP development is key for service-based organizations to have. And basically, I think that's it. Contact us for a scalability assessment if you want one, and we'll meet again here to
you can reach us. Yeah, you can reach us at Scalto, SCALTO.com. And there are all the links to our website, to our WhatsApp, and we can talk and chat about it. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Ale.
Bye.